What is up, everyone? Welcome to the first Johnny Arnett live stream. I'm freaking nervous as hell, but we're just doing it. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm Johnny Arnett. I am here with the Apex Greatness podcast crew. Check out their channel. If you guys want to drop links to your channel in the chat when you have a second, go for it. But they are a wonderful podcast. They cover a lot of old school basketball just like I do. We're going to talk about today's game. I'll do introductions in just a second, but we're going to talk about Lakers. We're going to talk about Warriors. We're going to talk about where we see the season going. And we're also going to do awards predictions. And we're going to talk about Charles Barkley's contract as well. So before we get into all of that, let's start off with Russell. How you doing, man?
Dude, I am doing amazing. I'm excited. I'm really excited to be here. That intro was awesome.
Yeah, I think I might get copyright claims for that one, but I don't care. And so we're gonna roll with it. So excellent. Dario, how you doing? As a Lakers fan, are you completely deflated after that game?
No, I'm also kind of like a mini Warriors fan, just because.
Where's that? Get off my stream. No, bring it back.
But I'm doing good, man.
So I just jumped from bandwagon to bandwagon. You know, whatever I feel like. All right. So the Kevin Durant of the stream is Dario. It's good to have you. So, all right. Lindsay, how you doing? Rocking the Bulls merch today.
Yes, I needed something that was sports related, and this is what I had.
There you go. Excellent. All right, so Dario, let's start with you. Just saw Warriors Lakers. Yeah. I actually saw some silver lining there as a Lakers fan. I'm not totally defeated after that one like I thought I was going to be after witnessing the first half. So what are your thoughts about this?
So I definitely I expected the offense to be kind of crappy, like we had a bunch of new pieces, and it was crappy last year. We didn't have a lot of players playing at the same time because of injury. So you expected that part of the chemistry to be off, but I expected the defense to be kind of there just because that team just 2 years ago was the best defense in the league. So I kind of expect that to be a trend for the whole year. I think the defense is going to be good. And I guess I'd say the game is kind of almost like a boxing match, right? You had the Warriors kind of giving them the nice little two-piece at first. They went up 9 in the first quarter. They came back. Lakers were fighting, and then the second quarter, Warriors try to give them a quick little knockdown, boom, and they went up a bit. I expected the Warriors to kind of pull away then, and we fought back. That kind of seemed like a ray of sunshine. And then the third quarter, they did, the Warriors floodgates and just started raining threes, and that's pretty much where the game kind of got out of hand, and then we try to get back in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, not to do the sports meme, but the Warriors are who we thought they were, basically. Yeah. It doesn't look like the drama, the team turmoil is going to affect them. Jordan Poole was there.
Yeah, Jordan Poole's jaw was fine,
100%.
He didn't need any kind of wiring or anything. He's good.
No, he's good. And the Warriors are still good.
Yeah.
Russell, what were your thoughts?
Okay. So if the Lakers go on to do anything successful this year, there were positives to take out of this game. If they go on to somehow win this championship, I'm not picking them. They're not going to be my team that I select later.
You're wearing a Celtics jersey, so I would guess that.
It's not. There are two people in here with Lakers stuff. Let them deal with Lakers drama. But I'll say this. Every champion gets this nice little documentary that just encapsulates their whole season. And in a lot of those documentaries, there's always a game like this where they're going up against the defending champs. They're in their building. The banner is being raised. Steph Curry is in all his glory, right? LeBron's got to sit there, and Anthony Davis has got to sit there after a terrible year last year and watch all this go on. And then they get beaten up for the most part. It wasn't very competitive in the first half. It was two totally different teams. One team had a very obvious system that obviously had been a well-oiled machine for years, and the other team was very isolation, very stagnant, not a whole lot of movement at all. And it looked very much like the first game of the regular season. But then in the third quarter, obviously we talked about the Avalanche. Dario talked about the Avalanche. But in the fourth quarter, this is where documentary kicks in, right? LeBron, 5 minutes left to go in the game. It's not that close, but it's, they put their pride on the line. LeBron gets in the huddle in a timeout and he says, put me in the game. I'm not coming out the game. I'm not finishing this game on the bench. I'm finishing this game on the court. And yeah, this could be something that they use for momentum going forward. And I'll be interested to see if they do that. They have pieces. They've always had pieces. The question with them is, can they actually put it together?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be – I expected us not to have shooting. Like, there was all the Buddy Hield rumors. There was all kinds of different rumors about shooters that we could have acquired in the offseason. And then now Pat Beverly is supposed to be, like, our big-time three-point shooter. Like, we just don't have that many weapons. But with that being said, we're not going to open every game, like, 1 of 15 from three-point range or whatever it was. So, like, shooting, that's going to come and go. But – so that's expected. But what I felt encouraged by is two things. One, we didn't quit. Like, Warriors were trying to run away with it. And I feel like last year's Lakers under Frank Vogel would have just laid over. And I was surprised by the amount of fight that our team had in it. Like hustle plays, diving after loose balls, even though we're down by 15, 16 points. And just defensively, like Darvin Ham's got them playing. Now, again, it's just one game. Everybody's hyped up. They just saw the Warriors get their ring. And so, but it didn't feel like last year's Lakers. Who knows? Maybe we'll end 500 this year. But it felt different. And oddly enough, I felt encouraged by it. I mean, a loss is a loss at the end of the day, but we didn't lay over. And so I was happy to see that. Again, Warriors are who we thought they were, man. The drama, I don't see it affecting them at all. Draymond Green's probably going to play out with a chip on his shoulder when we get into predictions. Draymond Green's one of my guys because I do think he's going to be playing this season with a chip on his shoulder. Jordan Poole doing his thing.
He's playing for a contract too, so that makes
sense. I know. And so what were your thoughts, Lindsay? How are you feeling about the game?
My three very simple takeaways were the Warriors still look really good and the Lakers look not good, but LeBron doesn't look old. And so his Father Time commercial is really working so far. And that's really my main three thoughts.
Season's in, and he's still like that one dunk he did. And the funny thing is, like, Reggie Miller was just like, oh my God, LeBron James, he's so amazing. Appreciate this, everyone. I'm like, we are down by 25. And so maybe it's a better time to just, have this like love session. But I'm a little bit salty, but LeBron, he played good. And the funny thing is, like, people, like, I don't know what it is about the last few years, but he just doesn't have reliable shooters like he did when he was, like, in Miami and when he was, like, in earlier seasons in his career. It's like he's finding guys. He's giving guys opportunities, but they're not knocking them down. So I'm a little bit frustrated with that.
During this Laker run, the last 3-4 years, however long he's been there, his three-point shooters definitely haven't been there. Like, he doesn't have almost any. Like, I feel like we've been bad at three-point shooting for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's not their identity, though. Or it's not the identity they want. For better or worse, you guys are right. They should definitely have three-point shooters in a three-point shooting era where everyone's trying to shoot them, and you kind of have to keep up. But they're trying to be a defensive basketball team.
For sure.
That's where they're trying to, like, hang their hat. And I don't know. I think it's always something. Like I said, it's always something with this team. It's been this way since LeBron's been there. Like, I think they do have the pieces to make it work, but they have to commit to a, what do you call it? To an identity.
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to be defensive, be defensive. Like, commit to it. Just attack the basket, play grit and grind, and that's how you beat teams. Just say, listen, we're going to try and hold teams as close to 100 points as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, games like this where they just completely get blown out in the third quarter and they have that low energy. It's why the fourth quarter was so shocking. Mm-hmm. Like, normally with the LeBron team, that happens. And he's done this with less talent where he has to make runs against a very similar Warriors team with the same core. Like,
Yeah, but he's
I
not.
don't know.
I don't think he's that same guy though.
I'm not saying he's as good, but he had way less talent then than he does now. And I just think the difference between that and this is they had more of an identity then than they do now. I think they should commit more to the defense. That's all Frank Vogel was trying to push anyways when he was there. And when they did that, they won a championship.
Yeah.
I didn't really see us sleeping defensively many times, though. I mean, like the defensive effort looked like it was there, but at the end of the day, like it's the Warriors. They got weapons all over the place. They got chemistry all over the place. They're making pinpoint passes that other teams don't make. And so I don't know. I'm not totally negative about everything I saw with the Lakers, but we're not competing with the Warriors. Like I feel like that's
that
for
ball
sure.
movement. It's just hard to play defense on it anyway, especially when it's going to be their first game of the season with all the new pieces. It's like you're not going to play they played really good defense, all things considered. So
But even if we just shot like league average from 3-point range, this would have been a game.
Oh, for sure.
Like it would have been a game, and we had a lot of good looks. We just weren't making them. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the one kid I do like is I like Matt Ryan. I like him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why do we have?
I like that kid. He played his way into a spot on the team by just.
I was like, why do we have the Colts QB on our team? Like,
he just slinging it, dude. I mean, you know. Reminds me of as a Lakers fan, he reminds me of Sasha Vujicic back in the day.
Yeah,
where it's like that dude is just a black hole. Like he never saw a shot that he didn't like. Like he just catches it and he's just shooting it. And I'm like, that's what we need. I mean, there's going to be games where that's going down, and he's going to be LeBron's best friend. Yeah. And so, I was loving that. But
I think he's going to be a part of. You'll see a lot of rotations with him in the same lineup as LeBron, probably.
Well, he's fighting for a job. I mean, the Lakers stated, like the coaching staff stated, like the only reason he got a spot is because of his shooting. So if he has a cold streak, he might be looking for a job. So
shooting's a premium. So that's going to get you a job.
Yeah, I am not looking at Matt Ryan to do anything significant.
Dude, we're desperate. They're desperate for shooters. And Daryl Smith knows what I'm talking about.
I'm looking at Lindsay, and Lindsay's looking at me, and we're both sitting here going, dude, this is some Laker fan stuff going on.
No. I don't.
That's what we got to talk about, dude, because with the Lakers, there's questions,
Oh, there's
Warriors.
questions.
Warriors going to kick ass. We know that. Like, Warriors going to dominate. We know that.
What's my white boy's name from the Bulls that we had, and no one expected anything, and Caruso. They called him. Oh, Caruso, right?
Caruso
came out of Caruso. That was his nickname.
The Showtime Caruso.
Yeah, would have been perfect for this defensive team.
But of course, but in this case, it's just going to be shooting that we're going to need, and he could be a little like a Kyle Korver kind of guy or something.
How did you? Oh, go. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I did that on purpose,
do you want to backpedal on that statement? But really, like one game, you're like, yeah, Kyle Korver, let's go.
Before we try to get out of the Laker fan zone, I want to know how the Laker fans felt about Russell Westbrook in general, because he played okay from the stat sheet perspective. He played okay, but like Charles Barkley said something really interesting. I want your opinion on it. At halftime, he said he's not playing with the same passion. Do you agree or no?
I thought he was attacking. Like I saw him attacking a lot of time. Like I feel like the media is just going to make a big deal about the whole offseason in general because I think I remember there was a possession. Pat Beverly went to drive. He did a double dribble. They called it on him, and then the first thing they do is pan to Westbrook, and he looked because he was on the bench, and he looked like why the hell did he just do that? And I promise you, that's going to be talked about tomorrow on like multiple stupid ass networks, and just say, "Oh, does Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverly already have issues?" Like,
but they're boys, bro. They're like this. You saw them. You saw that one picture in the preseason that went around to every eyeball that was on social media of them like laughing and like, we're boys now.
Yeah.
Maybe he's cool. Maybe Pat Beverly's like, dude, you can't shoot that. Just stop. Be inside. Go for your little bank shots. Do Westbrook stuff.
Yeah.
And then do the eyes.
I was torn on Westbrook. I mean, I don't know. In the first half, he shot a couple 3-pointers. And listen, Westbrook's inefficient from the field. He shoots slightly below league average for his career. And like Reggie's defending him, just going, "Oh, Russell Westbrook, he, always plays with effort and he's got such a motor." It's like even his biggest critics know that. Like, that's not news to anyone. We know he has a motor, but he's also turning the ball over a lot, which he did again today. And I'm going to say this point that people don't think of a lot is when he shoots turnovers, when he shoots three-pointers, when he shoots threes, that's pretty damn close to a turnover. Like, he's one of the worst three-point shooters in NBA history.
I was about to say, you had it right the first time.
Yeah, and so I'm like, when he shoots turnovers, it's not totally a turnover because every once in a while they go in. But it's like the Ben Simmons thing. There's a reason they're abandoning you on the perimeter. Now, apparently he's worked on it. I'll give him like 10 games. All right, shoot away. Have your just.
Ben Simmons just needs his mentality though, like because Westbrook's not going to stop shooting. Like.
But this was a match made in hell from the very beginning. Like turning Russell Westbrook into a off-ball perimeter shooter, having LeBron drive and kick to a guy like Russell Westbrook, and then he's going to drive and kick, and now the offense is all discombobulated. It's like it doesn't make sense. Like he needs the Matt Ryans on the court. He needs guys. We'll wait. I'm just saying, guys with that style. He needs Kyle Korver type guys.
I can't believe Matt Ryan is the highlight of the league today.
We're desperate, dude. We need shooters. We need shooters.
Okay, so you guys keep saying we need shooters. So I'll ask this question. I'll try and tie the two things together. Does Russell Westbrook make it to the trade deadline?
I don't think so.
I think we'll get. Where in the world will you get these shooters?
Yeah, I was gonna say
I didn't say we'd get a shooter for him. I just think that it's not gonna work, and we'll be so desperate to get him off the team by trade deadline that we might just trade him away for a box of cookies like we did with Lamar Odom back in the day.
But you have
that doesn't help you at all. You got to get one Kyle Korver type guy. Like
I know. I want that. If we could turn Russell Westbrook into shooters, absolutely, I'd love that. But from the very beginning, I've been hearing like Buddy Hield and the Miles Turner trade and stuff. I'm going, there's ain't no freaking way.
Yeah, I think Buddy Hield is a high. Like, I think that would be an amazing steal for the Lakers if they
that's like
pull that off.
That's like a Jerry West gifting us Pau Gasol type thing in this situation right now. I just don't see it. I love Russ. I'm going to be honest. He's one of my favorite players in the league because he just feels from a personality standpoint. Not like X's and O's basketball, but like his intensity, his motor, his attitude. Like he just feels old school. Like I feel like he would have fit in beautifully if he played in the 90s. But it just doesn't work in today's game. Like I want to like him. I still think he looks good in a Lakers jersey. It's just not working. It's just not.
And it's insane how the league just changed so quickly because just 5 years ago he was an MVP candidate, a monster. No one would even question it. You know what I mean?
It's not even that the league changed. It's just like, it's what happens. I was saying this about Tom Brady the other day. Like, I think LeBron now in basketball is setting an unrealistic expectation for superstar longevity. How is that for a bunch of big words in a row? But I think it's difficult to expect guys like Russell Westbrook to play. How old is he now? He's got to be
30, like 4, something like that.
30. That's what I'm saying. I was going to say 35, but I felt like that was too
I'm
much.
Not sure. I'd have to check.
But like, he's 6'3". He's 6'3". He was known for his athleticism. Like, this isn't out of the norm. If you look at the history of the league, like, I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy that he's not as good as he was when he was 29.
But he's 33. I mean, like, he hasn't had a major injury. Like,
he has. He's had leg injuries that have kept him out for long periods of time. Like that year when Durant won the MVP, he was out for a pretty long stretch.
I mean, that's like almost a decade ago. Like
I'm sad. It's a significant injury.
But I mean, his main.
He's not injured. He's not a guy you would call injury.
Yeah, his main thing was like before he got that injury, he had never missed a game since. Like,
that's true.
He played basketball, so and then
that's
even
why I
after
remember
that, I don't even know if he's missed many games due to injury after that big injury. Like,
yeah. And the funny thing is, speaking of injuries, Anthony Davis, dude, it's like, I want to be happy about what I saw tonight. Like, he was aggressive from the outset, and Draymond Green, to his credit, especially in the second half, did a great job on him being undersized and everything. But in the first half, AD was so aggressive. But I think there was like 2 or 3 times this game where AD's getting off the floor and he's a little gimpy, and you're just like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
God, like
Yeah,
every
is it
single
over?
time
Yeah.
he goes to the floor, it's just like an anxiety attack for us Laker fans, man.
Yeah.
Can
And
he
so-
survive?
And
He's
he
going to have
doesn't
to
look
play
like he's
100
brittle.
games,
Yeah.
right? Something like that. If you expect him to go deep into the playoffs, ideally, he's going to play something like close to that. No, am I bugging? Maybe a little less?
I'd say like more like 80. I think
Okay.
I think 80, 90 maybe. I don't know. Just because I think they should load manage him throughout the season. Like
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what you have to do with players now, especially guys that are getting injured like that.
But here's the thing. I used to feel like load managing was the answer with LeBron-led teams. It's like, just make sure everybody's healthy in time for the playoffs.
Right.
And you have a chance. But in this Western Conference, with this Lakers team,
Yeah.
I'm not confident you're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know,
Really?
like no,
Damn.
I'm not confident.
That's
the West
crazy.
is tough, dude.
Yeah.
We won 34 games last year. What happened?
Yeah.
What changed, dude? We got Matt Ryan. Like, all of a sudden we're in the playoffs now. Like,
Yeah, I mean the thing to me that's going to change is I'm expecting LeBron and AD to play this season. Like
How many games
majority of it.
combined?
why?
LeBron,
Why do you feel so
100%.
optimistic?
Huh?
Yeah,
100%. LeBron's playing 70 games or more in my mind.
Okay, I don't think so, but I'll hear you out.
That's fine.
I'll hear you out.
I'm thinking 80. I'm giving him like 65, right?
Okay, so 65 between both of them together, assuming, right?
What? No, so it's 70 games for LeBron, 65 for AD.
So how many games? So that you're saying they'll play all 65 together, or no?
Oh, I don't know. Give him like 50, 60 games. I don't know.
Okay, so let's say 55. Let's go right in the middle. I have a point, I promise. What do you think their record is going to be in those 55 games?
55 games?
Yeah.
Let's go. Now you're gonna make me actually do math now.
Yeah,
I'm
correct.
gonna go.
And you're gonna see how many games
40
we
and 15.
aren't winning.
That's where I'm about to get to. But
Yep.
how many you said?
40 and 15.
40 and 15. They
Yeah.
better play way better than they did tonight if they're going to get to 40 and 15 with those guys. I'm just saying. I hope they do. You could be right.
No,
If they
I
do
think
that, they will
overreacting
make the
then.
playoffs.
I think that's overreaction then, because you got to think about it. You have literally a well-oiled machine that just won the NBA championship. Literally, not much changed. You just signed a lot of the key players that won you the NBA championship. You're going to be good for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
You have a brand new Lakers team that is finally figuring shit out together. Last year, AD and LeBron didn't play. AD, LeBron, and Russ played like less than 20 games together.
That was my next point.
Yeah, so then you're going into this game, lack of chemistry. They played really good defense for that lack of chemistry. Like if you watch that game, there's no way that you're gonna say the Lakers just played horrible the whole game through, because they were fighting all the way through.
I not disagreeing.
It was the third. Besides the third quarter, they were in a fight throughout the entire game.
So over under 41 wins for the Lakers. Over under.
Is that the DraftKings over?
I got Lakers getting like 52 wins.
Lakers
got the
Lakers being
52
the
wins.
fourth.
I give them like 45. Like they're just over.
Yeah, that's why I'm going.
I got
I'm
the
saying
Lakers
over,
being the
but
fourth seed.
barely, because we'll be fighting for that play-in. But I'm going barely over. How about you, Russell?
If Dario's right and LeBron plays 70 games and Anthony Davis plays 65 and they play 60 games together, I think they have a good chance to go over. But I genuinely don't think that's going to happen. I would be very surprised if they play that long of a period of time together. And the flip side of that is, if you don't get that chemistry on the floor, then come playoff time, you're going to get completely exposed. So it's like, it's a very difficult balance. And I don't know if they have the depth. They have talent. It doesn't come together, but I don't know if they have depth to do it without their stars. And I feel like, yes, that could be said about a lot of teams, but especially so with most LeBron teams. But this year's Lakers, it's a fact.
Sure.
So in my mind, the way that's going to work is just like they did in 2020. I think, because when you look at that bench wasn't amazing, but what was really great about that team was the defense. all they had to do was play good defense while LeBron or AD was off the floor and just keep them within the game until they came back, manage games, and then they LeBron and AD kind of closed a lot of those games out together.
Yeah.
Like that was what was happening. I know it sounds insane because the Lakers have been bad for the last 2 years, but I think a LeBron and AD team that plays together should be at least within the top 5 in the West, in my opinion. Like, there's not the other teams in the West. Like, I got Warriors over them for sure.
Mavericks,
Grizzlies.
Suns.
I'm not 100% sure about the Grizzlies though, because they're very young. I don't know if they're going to be consistent this year too. A lot of people love Ja though. I'm still kind of like a Ja hater, so that might be like my little, I guess.
Based. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm trying to think of the other West teams, but like the Mavs aren't going to the Western Conference Finals again, in my opinion. So like you have teams that you can jump over that was in the playoffs last year that you can jump over as a Laker.
I'm sensing your homerism, bro. Go ahead, Lindsay. Go ahead.
I was taking notes obviously because I was tired and I was like, I don't want to forget things.
Yeah.
And literally in my notes about the Lakers, I was like, the 3 old men played okay, and I included Anthony Davis in the old men category, even though he's not old. Because I wrote he's as prone to like breaking a hip when he falls as an old person is. Like, I just don't trust him.
I was saying he's like a distant relative of Bill Walton. I mean, seriously, he's just getting injured all the time, man. It's just insane. It's a scare every time. So it's like I can't bank on him. Like I was happy to see how aggressive he was, but he's going to miss half of the games. Like he's going to get a big injury, and because what does he play? I think he played like 80 games in the last 2 seasons. Like we were talking about it, Dario. It's like he hasn't played a full season in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
you know.
That's why I'm like 65 games would be like what I'm thinking about. I couldn't give him 70 because I'm like he hasn't even played. He barely played 70 in the last 2 seasons. So
yeah. No, I'm just talking about injury alone. I'm not comparing the 2 players, Bill Walton over AD for sure. But
Bill Walton,
chat, I want to ask you
now.
guys too, chat. I saw some of you guys already over under 41 wins for the Lakers. As far as the Warriors, they're my pick to win it all. Spoiler. I mean, for our predictions section, I think they're repeating. Like, and that's going to get really interesting. Like Steph Curry with 5 rings. You know,
there's
if
going to
that
be
happens,
some sizzling fire takes that come out.
Oh man,
people are going to be saying, especially, you don't even need them to win the championship. Wait till we get to Christmas and they're like with like 4 losses on the season, and people are just like, "Oh, Curry's a chance to be top 5." You're going to hear that from at least somebody. Someone will say that. I don't know who it will be. Maybe you guys can figure that out.
Yo, I'm not for nothing. The chat is being too like I want to say over dramatic. You would be like, come on, like we.
Am I gonna have to kick you again? You're attacking my chat now. Make your point. Make your point. Go ahead. Go after my chat.
Like you really got to look at it. It was meant for the Warriors to win this game, like dominantly. Like there's no doubt about it that everybody's coming back. Chemistry's there. Just because a punch in the face happened, they were still passing the ball to each other. They were doing shit like Draymond's jaw. I mean, fist with Jordan Poole's jaw connected, like literally. So they're all set. They're good. You don't have to worry about anything. Lakers had to figure stuff out. Sorry, but yeah, come on, man. Like, watch. Talk to me in like 30 games.
Okay, we will. When the Lakers are 13 and 17, yeah, we'll talk. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, I'm just not optimistic. So
yeah, I got you.
I've tried to be optimistic the last 2 seasons, and both seasons ended with disappointment. So
I think hold on, but with the Warriors, I think the reason why every player you've ever heard talk about the Draymond Green punch is being like, oh, it's not a big deal. It happens in every locker room. Every player, that is the player or former player narrative. You've heard it from every single one. And I think these games are why people feel that way. Because look, they played great. System was fire. Everybody had fun. They destroyed the Lakers. At least they probably felt that way for the night. They got their cool rings. Their rings are awesome. Each one has a different championship for how many
they're getting
won with
bigger
the organization.
and bigger, dude. Like they're the size. They're like the size of an apple now.
I don't want to hear it. Shaquille O'Neal has the biggest rings. I don't want to hear it. for your
That's
team.
because of his fingers.
Yeah, like he's just got like big hands. They have to size the ring to
No,
like make
get
it
outta
fit. But
here.
now
Yeah, like they're
everybody's
like
rings look
actually
like they can
huge.
fit
Like
on
they'll
Shaq's
fit on it.
hand.
Yeah, they'll fit on Shaq's
It's
hand.
the size of my
it's
hand,
not
the
the first-
diamond.
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
Oof.
Yeah, here we
If
go.
Curry,
Come on
if
now.
Curry
This
has
is what
5
you guys
rings,
need.
the
This is-
discussion
this is
against
my
Kobe and
issue
Duncan
with
will
stuff
super
like
spice
that.
up. Well, not just that, but Curry over LeBron. Like, I'm already hearing Curry fans push it, man.
That's
They're
insane.
already doing it because
That's
they've
what
been
I'm
saying for a
saying.
while. Like,
That's
I'm seeing this meme all over the place right now where it said the greatest team during Michael Jordan's era, the Bulls. The greatest team during Kobe's era, the Lakers. The greatest team during LeBron's era, Warriors. And it's like they're already pushing that, and now they're going to start saying, hey, he's better than LeBron. It's going to get super spicy, and it's going to get. I mean, he jumped on my list. I took so much heat when I did my 50 greatest players of all time, and I ranked Steph way lower than a lot of people did. But since then, he won like conference MVP, finals MVP, another championship. Obviously, he broke the 3-point record and just continuing to just dominate. And so he shot up my list. And if he wins another one, it's gonna get crazy. Yeah, because I mean, people were trying to say that narrative was being pushed that Kevin Durant was the best player on that Warriors team, and that he was making rings easy for Steph. Yeah. But now we're looking at it going, Steph won championships before Kevin Durant, and with Kevin Durant, and after Kevin Durant. Nice. I mean, it's really crazy to see how much things have been swinging in Curry's favor of recent.
Yeah. So do you not believe that KD was the best player in that team at that time?
Oh, I never thought he was. I never thought
he was.
I always thought Curry was the best player on that team, just because of like.
I thought he was
because it was more than just like, I mean, yeah, if we're playing a one-on-one tournament, I'm going to go for the guy who's 7 feet tall and can pull up from 30 feet. Like, yeah, absolutely. But it's not a one-on-one tournament. Nobody spreads the floor in 2022 like Steph Curry does.
Yeah, but
he makes everybody better. He opens up everybody on the floor, the ball movement. Like, I'm just talking 5-on-5 basketball. Again, I'm not taking Magic Johnson in a one-on-one tournament, but on 5-on-5 basketball, like that's what we're talking about, and you have to factor that in.
But the thing is, and I don't want to seem like a Warrior hater when I just said that I was a fan, but when they the one thing that I noticed throughout that whole like process of the in the playoff,
good looks, brother.
What happened?
Arkasul, great mod. He's plugging you guys.
Yeah. I think they didn't have to face like one of like Boston was a really good team last year, but they were very young. Like I think if they would have faced Milwaukee healthy, or like I think they would have had a little bit more trouble against like a championship caliber team, because when it comes down to it, and we saw it with Giannis the year before, we saw it when KD was there. When you're facing elite level teams and it's the end of games, you need that guy. Steph did it in game 4 last year, and that's what kind of made everybody like finally approve of him for whatever reason. But I think KD was doing that throughout that whole span with the Warriors, those 3 years, and Steph couldn't do that at that point.
Yeah, but
he acknowledged that.
But like, I even give credit to Steph for KD's success.
100%.
Because Jerry West, part of his recruitment pitch to get KD on there was, how many open shots are you going to get with us? I mean, he had arguably the 2 greatest shooters of all time on his team, freeing up space for Kevin Durant. Like how many shots he had where he was wide open. And there's proof. Go look at his statistics. Go to Basketball Reference, StatMuse, whatever you want to use. You'll see that KD's efficiency, both from the field and from 3-point range, skyrocketed when he was on the Warriors because he had all these open looks. And we know why he's so open, because you can't leave Steph and you can't leave Clay either.
Yeah, but was his efficiency not the same his first year in the Nets?
on the Nets.
I think,
but that's my point. His peak of efficiency was with the Warriors because that's when he had the most open shots.
Yeah.
And so you could say, well, he's the guy who stood out in the finals. I'm like, well, it's pretty easy to stand out in the finals when every shot you're shooting is wide open because you can't leave the two greatest shooters arguably ever.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree. I agree 100% with that.
Yeah.
And he definitely, he honestly, but there's so many guys that would have not like would have folded under that pressure because going like LeBron did. I'm sorry, but in 2011 when LeBron had that same situation, he's supposed to win this. He was supposed to win this championship. He got on this team. Like this should be an easy win for Miami. He folded. Like KD could have easily folded going into that play. Like Cavs just beat the Warriors in a 7-game series. Like they had the mental edge over them. They beat them in the Christmas game. Like sure, like they got blown out. They blew out the Cavs that year in January. But like going into that playoffs, like they were both. I think both teams dominated their conference. So it was like he could have easily folded and they could have lost that series.
I'm not saying he shouldn't get any credit. I'm not saying that those ridiculous numbers he was putting up in the finals, like we should just poo-poo all over it. But what I'm saying is like, there's a reason for that. I mean, we knew it. Come on, man. We knew it. It was part of the recruitment pitch. Like nobody was surprised that KD was putting up big numbers when he's open all the time. Russell, you got something?
Yeah. I think it was more surprising that they all stayed healthy, honestly. The one thing I always think about with that whole situation is like they managed to avoid the injury bug for like a long time, especially with Durant. Like up until that last finals, where literally all of the wheels
well,
fell
then it
off.
all fell apart. Yeah.
Literally every wheel on the bus fell off, completely off the wagon.
Yeah.
And
they didn't
crumbled.
have to do maintenance for years, and then they just had to place a lot.
But no, and I just think it does matter that they were head and shoulders above everybody else, and you know that helps when it comes to. I think it could have easily went a different way, but they won. I don't know. It does. So that totally threw me off. I had
the best point made of the night.
Yeah, I had something that I was thinking, and then Aaron Baines' face jumped in my brain. And that was it. Everything that I said.
Point over.
If you thought I was onto something, I'm sorry. It's gone now. We're live.
Man.
It's over.
We should change it to Aaron Baines and see if we get a following. Just let's go.
Yeah, dude.
Classic.
Spam my face on Aaron Baines' social media if he has it.
Well, just so you guys know, these folks podcasts that I'm with, they're still kind of new. They're building up their audience and everything, but you guys should be following them. It always turns into these sort of bigger picture conversations with us where it's like, oh, this game. And it's like all time, where do they rank? You know, bringing up players from like 20, 30 years ago. It always goes there, and it doesn't take very long. But
yeah, for sure.
It always turns into the KD thing too. That's never going away. Unless he wins another championship, it's not going away.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's always gonna be talk, especially when you're talking about the Warriors. You're always gonna just bring up KD.
Yeah. Chat. I had my fantasy draft last night, and this was a conversation we had. Would you rather have Jordan Poole or Klay Thompson on your fantasy team? I think I might have screwed up. I'll let you know who I pick after I hear some chat. But do you guys want to get into Sixers and Celtics a little bit?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. I was like, I'm repping Celtics Nation right now. By the way, Steph Curry not better than Bill Russell. I just wanted to say that. I really wanted to just do it mainly for Dario. I was waiting to get it in there so bad. I was like, he's not better than Bill Russell. It's not happening. For Lindsay, I know what you're thinking. Get it out of your head.
Like, I'm understanding where I'm at, you know. Like,
10-0 in game sevens. He averaged like 30 rebounds a game in game sevens. Yeah. He was, and like, I think like 7 of those games were decided by like 1 possession or less. It was nuts. Yeah. Like, Russell is like the definition of clutch. So I got no problems with that.
Yeah.
I got no problems with
that. You know, I agree. Because
rest in peace to the GOAT.
God bless.
You guys see that documentary? It just came out. I think it was on TNT earlier before the games. It was like a half hour. It was basically just about how Bill Russell It's basically about how Bill Russell called every single relevant player for the last 50 years and was like, "You're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. You could do it." It just gave him inspiring conversations. Mm-hmm. Bill Russell, most influential human in basketball history. Come at me.
Mhm.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I'm not coming at you with that. No, Bill Russell's awesome. Bill Russell's awesome.
Yeah, but he cannot play all 5 positions. I just want to know that. That was like, that's like, come on, like, let's not. Y'all called me delusional just a couple minutes ago about my Lakers. And
We're gonna have this argument again, Dario. You're always crapping on dudes' athleticism from the '60s. Okay, so we got to do this again.
I'm just saying he can't play the guard, one guard. Like
he brought up the ball plenty of times.
Yeah, he brought it. You want to know why? It was so easy, Johnny. They were dribbling like this, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, hang on. I'm so tired of that. There was different dribbling rules back.
Tell me who crossed. All right,
you couldn't cross over like you could now without it being a travel. Okay,
was Pistol Pete there at that point?
Going around like this because if he goes like this and tries to be Allen Iverson, it's a turnover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick question: was Pistol Pete there at that point? No, he wasn't. Right? Like, yeah, that was the net. Yeah,
70s. That was like a little bit more than a decade.
He was like basic as hell. Like they made it seem like he was like crazy and he was like doing, but between the legs, and they were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he did that!" Like, get out of here with that, man. Come on.
My chat's not gonna like you because my people are old school fans.
We're on the Wilt Chamberlain channel.
Yeah, I know, but we gotta be honest though. Like I respect a lot of them, but we're not gonna lie. Like I'm not lying. Like
it's all right. It's all right, Johnny. I'm with you. I usually defend.
Bill Russell had the speed. He was a world class athlete. Did you know he could have been an Olympian leaper?
Are we gonna do this? Are we gonna?
You started it. You started it. You're gonna say,
all I'm saying is he couldn't play point. Like that's all I'm saying. Maybe in the '60s because everybody could play point. But
you're saying he's not guarding Kyrie.
In 1990, he would get stripped 33 straight possessions.
That's such a ridiculous point, though. Why do we take Bill Russell in a time machine, drop him off in the 90s? And don't give him any sort of modern benefits. Like, does he still have to play in his old school Chuck Taylors? Or are we going to give him Nikes? Like, that's not fair. Like, if he was playing in the 90s, then he would have like millions of dollars to work on his body. He would have like better equipment, all that sort of. That's what drives me nuts when people are like, "Oh, they couldn't hang with modern athletes." Well, if you took a 6'10" dude and dropped them in 2022, guess what? He's got modern training. He's got like I don't get it.
And I agree. Like I've honestly, like from our many conversations about this, I agree with that. You have to give him both, but I'm just saying off of what I saw from him, he's not a point guard. Like I'm not gonna say that. Like he could guard the point guard 100%.
Well, that was what the comment was. I think he said he could guard 1 through 5. Isn't that what he said? He could guard.
No, he didn't. He said he could play and guard 1 through 5. I read it.
He's like, I read it. It was fast, but I read it. I saw it.
So, all right, but love to that comment though. Thank you, Aaron Bridges. You know,
inspiration.
It wouldn't be a Apex Greatness podcast if Dario didn't attack the 60s at least once.
Yeah,
it's true. Okay. So, especially with you, man. Whenever we do these things with you, it always comes out.
It wasn't even with Johnny. It's just like Aaron. Shout out to you, man. But like, come on, man. All love.
Okay, now we all getting our doppelgangers now.
I got eyebrows though, bro. I got eyebrows. Oh, he had.
That's hair. Eyebrows are still hair.
Yo, this chat is.
We both Dominican though, so that's probably why.
All right, let's get back to Celtics 76ers. I don't know how we got on Bill Russell, but Celtics 76ers. What are our takeaways from that game? We'll start with you, Russell, saying that you were so excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe how fast the pace was and how well everybody was playing for night one. Usually in the season opener, we see a lot of what we saw in the Lakers Warriors, where it's like, clunky, a lot of missed open shots, just rustiness. And it seemed like guys were just flying up and down the court. Everybody was making threes. Like it just felt way more fast paced. Like I was very surprised by how fast they were moving for two teams that I was expecting it to be way more of like a physical battle. And it had their moments. Obviously, it got physical. There was some fighting, or almost fighting, NBA fighting, not like real fighting, but like, I was still just like, I was surprised how it ultimately turned out. I want to hear what Lindsay thinks. I really want to hear what Lindsay has to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because your two favorite players are on each team.
Yeah, it's a really difficult time to watch when it's Sixers and Celtics. I really like Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid, but Joel Embiid is definitely my favorite player at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I was kind of happy with what he did, but I'm not ready to listen to a whole nother season of Doc Rivers. I don't think I'm mentally prepared for that. Every time they do like his like halftime takes, it sounds like a whole lot of fucking a whole lot of nothing to me.
Yeah. I think the
Sounds like a whole
NBA
lot
on
of nothing to
NBC
me.
already demonetized this stream, so I'm good. Yeah, you're
If
good.
anybody's wondering why she doesn't like Doc Rivers, she's a Clippers fan. So
Yeah, that too.
At heart.
That as well. Yeah.
Look at all you guys in this friggin' bandwagon. She's a Clippers fan, but she's in Bulls merch. And then
Yes,
Dario, who's
It's
like,
a
I like the
t-shirt.
Lakers, but I also root for the Warriors, so I'm the fan
in my
who never
defense,
loses.
I was a
So-
LeBron hater way more than I was like a Lakers fan. Like I was a Kobe fan, LeBron hater. So it was like my LeBron haterism made me be a Warriors fan.
Listen.
Yeah.
Lakers through and through. I bleed purple and gold, and I was rooting for the Lakers while I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we were 17 and 65, and the Warriors were winning championships. That's when you know, like when your
That
whole
was
circle
life.
of friends is Warriors fans, and they're grilling you because you're only winning 17 games and they're winning championships.
Yeah, you
It's
get
like
a
you know
lot.
you're
Yeah,
not a
you
bandwagon.
definitely get a lot from
Dario
It's a
would know
rough
nothing about that.
I wouldn't. That's 100%.
Like, I'm just happy all the time. I got
Yeah,
I just pull
yeah.
for
You
the
know,
win.
I'm just like rooting for the people winning. You know, but I thought the game. I like to add to your point, Russ. I think it's because a lot of those teams came back, right, and they also have played each other. They play each other every year, but that's like a rivalry right there. The Celtics, Sixers. So I think that's what like they're up for that game. They're definitely ready for the season opener. So that's probably why they played so well. I feel like in the game, like I just want to say Jason Tatum, like in that third quarter, he pretty much went on a spurt that broke open the game. They went up like 10, 13 points, something like that, and they never let up after that.
I hate to be the meme, but he's only 24.
That's what I'm
Dude,
saying. I'm telling you, he might be the
he's
like
about
the-
to take
the
over
light
this
pick
league,
for
dude.
MVP too, but we're not. Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe, but no.
he might like he could be like I might put money on that. Like put like a quick 100 on Jason Tatum. Might get some.
Quick Hundy.
Yeah.
Look at you balling out on the
Yeah.
live stream, talking all this.
I already
dollar-
learned about
dollar
Willis Reed.
talk.
Like I've Johnny Arnett has taught me about Willis Reed. I've heard about.
Let's jump on this a little bit because I want to engage with the chat as much as possible. So,
Yeah.
thoughts on Victor?
Victor.
Which Victor?
I've
Oh,
never
Debo
said his name. I've
Wembanyama?
never said the new kid who's coming up, who's
The
like
Frenchman.
7'3". Yeah,
Oh, the
the
big
guy
boy.
that
Yeah,
people are
Papa.
calling the biggest prospect since LeBron James. That guy, that kid.
I haven't looked up enough like
Okay.
on him.
Dude-
But
dude's
they had
solid.
Zion
Okay.
like that too, so I'm not really.
Okay.
I want to see them play in the
Okay,
NBA.
so
first.
Yeah, I'm
okay,
big on that
I've
too.
got thoughts on him. He had a viral video, and again, Rudy Gobert didn't look like he was giving his greatest effort, but he was torching Rudy Gobert. It was
Yeah,
kind of like that one clip where you see like Michael Jordan guarding Shaq at the All-Star game, and Shaq's putting the moves on him and just schooling him. It was kind of like that. It was loosey-goosey. But the kid is like 7'3", 7'4", and he moves around like a guard. He's got fantastic handles, and he pulls up from like several feet beyond the three-point line.
Yeah.
Like he's like KD with a few more inches. Like this kid is going to be a nightmare. And people are saying that he's the biggest prospect since LeBron James. Some are even saying bigger. I think that's ignorant. I don't think if you're old enough to remember the LeBron James hype, that was nuts. People were saying he was going to be one of the greatest players of all time, before, and they were like guaranteeing it. Like the hype for LeBron, I've never seen anything like it. So I don't think he's quite that, but I will agree. He's going to be the biggest prospect since LeBron, and everybody's talking about it's going to be a tankathon trying to get this guy, just get in a position to get this guy. And so we'll see. I hope Adam Silver is going to be cracking down on that because there's going to be a lot of people who want this kid.
Quick question. When he was like torching Rudy, was it off jump shots and stuff?
Yeah, he was just kind of losing him with his hands. He was losing him with his handles.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, a guy who could just pull up, has a slight fade to a shot with 7'3", with whatever his wingspan is, it's long. I mean, you just can't defend him. I mean, that's what people have been saying with KD. Like, how do you defend a guy like KD who's 7 foot, who can shoot from 30 feet out? You can't. It's the same thing with this kid, but even more dramatic. I'm just talking about in terms of his release point and all that.
For sure.
I think he's going to be awesome. But again, my biggest concern anytime with that is he's a big guy. All it takes is one knee injury to start a career of knee injuries, and he'll just be one of those great what-if videos, and I'll be making videos about him 20 years from now being like, this guy could have owned the NBA, but his knee sucked. So we'll see.
Also, you know who I saw a lot of, like, videos similar, like, same big size, like, not in the NBA, just, like, schooling people as a youngster? You guys remember Thon Maker? This wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Very similar type deal. The only difference between Thon Maker and Victor is that Victor had this one game recently where that was on national. I think it was on national TV, right? Where I forget who he was playing. It was two teams I'd never heard of. And, he did all the things. He blew up Twitter, had all the step back threes, the blocks, was moving around super athletically. Kind of looked like Porzingis with a handle. That's what it looked like to me. That was my comparison. It's not historical, but like my personal comparison reminded me just like Porzingis. And to your point, guys that height who move like that, can you name any that haven't had a serious injury? Like,
the thing is though, this kid, when you see him move, it looks natural. Like, and it's
looks
weird
natural with Embiid too.
Yeah, exactly. But it's weird to kind of explain because some big guys move around and they look like Gumby. They're just bouncing around. They're kind of awkward, that sort of thing. Yeah. He's not. Like when I say he moves and handles the ball like a guard, I genuinely mean that. That's not me being facetious. Like, this kid can handle the ball, and I do think he's going to be solid. So people are basically booking it. So if you haven't seen his highlights, check him out. This he's going to be a problem in the league, assuming he stays healthy. So,
does he handle the ball as good as Bill Russell?
he handles it better than Bill Russell.
Okay.
Give Bill some time to take like 6 steps like they do in the modern NBA and just say, it's a gather step. Freaking double step back jumpers. That 3-pointer that Jordan Poole made on LeBron. I was looking at Twitter and it's all going viral and everything. Like, LeBron. Like, he just did the James Harden double step back and literally nobody cares. Like, it's such a travel, but nobody cares. That drives me nuts.
So do you get why they don't call this a double step back a travel?
Just if it looks fluid and it looks smooth, and now I think it's the gather step.
I think they're counting it as
that is what it is. It's like a layup but backward.
Yeah. But because now with their definition of a gather step, basically as long as you make it look fluid, you can get away with it because that could be designed like. That could be so many things. Like, that's such a broad, like you could take 12 steps, but while the ball was like you were gathering it, I don't know. It's a mess. There was some guys who were doing step backs in the day, but there was none of that double step back stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
The NBA loves offense. They like to see teams scoring. Yeah. They like to see the 3 balls. Yeah.
Me too.
One more,
I like offense.
I miss defense, man. The last great defensive NBA finals was the 2010 finals. Lakers Celtics. Game 7. Remember when Kobe shot 6 for 24 and everybody just remembers Kobe shooting 6 for 24? Bro, everybody shot like crap that game. The refs put away their whistles and dudes were just killing each other in that game. That was freaking that felt like 80s. That was epic. So
that was the last. I always say that was the last traditional lineup finals. Like, it was right before positionless basketball really became in vogue. And both teams had very obvious defined positions 1 through 5 for their starting lineup. And after that, we really don't see that much afterwards and into today. Like, so I always think about that. But like, I don't know, man. I can say this with confidence now, and I have proof. It's on our podcast channel. I have watched every season of Michael Jordan's career. I have watched more Michael Jordan footage, so much Michael Jordan footage I could throw up and the Jumpman logo would come out of my mouth. Like, it would be terrible. Like, It wasn't that.
Yeah,
it wasn't
it
more
wasn't.
entertaining, in my opinion.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
the endings usually were, but that's because
The 90s were slow. The 90s,
The
pace was just-
especially the late 90s. Oh yeah, it was very half-court basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an acquired taste. I thought it was good in the 2000s. Like the 2000s were the ideal, I think, especially the late 2000s. Yeah, you had a nice balance between the
Late
three
2000s,
ball.
yeah.
And late 2000s. Because in the early 2000s, it kind of got to that low scoring, kind of sluggish pace as well.
Even
Pistons,
the mid-2000s,
Pacers.
that's when the Detroit.
Yeah, Pistons, Pacers. Where how many
Pistons,
games like
Pacers.
straight did the
Yo,
Pistons
we
No
saw
one
like
scored
multiple-
70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the winner averaged like 75 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, and they won
Ridiculous.
this year. Like that was what. Yeah, it was crazy.
The winning team shot 38% as a team.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, yeah.
And people were just like, "That's basketball."
Yeah, like, yeah.
Like who wants to watch this misses all throughout the game?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. No, I get you. I want to balance. Like because
Yeah.
people get on me on my channel. They're like, "Oh, he just loves the old school." It's like, no. I'm not saying I just want the 90s where it's just sluggish and it's just a bunch of strong dudes banging in the paint down low. It's like, no, I want the mid range. I want, the footwork. And occasionally you have your snipers and your 3-point shooters. But now it's just freaking, I don't know, it's corny as hell that we're like, there's a 7'5" guy and we're like, but can he shoot the three? It's like,
Yeah,
why?
sure.
Like, why
I
does
agree with
everybody why does everyone have to do the same thing? And so my theory was extend the 3-point line a little bit, and then only your best 3-point shooters are going to be your specialists now.
Yeah.
And so if you extend the line, it's going to drop the percentages league wide of the 3-pointer, which is naturally going to increase the value of mid-range game again. That's my suggestion. But speaking of Harden, thoughts on Harden's X factorism in this season for the 76ers? Dude showed up tonight. I mean, he looked like old Harden, but the numbers he was putting up.
Did you guys see it? Rob Perez had it on his, and I call him the king of NBA Twitter. He had this little clip of something that was on NBA TV where it was like a preseason practice or like, I don't know, it was just something with the Sixers. And Doc Rivers is talking to James Harden and talking to him about how basically he doesn't want the guy who only scores or the guy who only passes. He wants the guy that does both.
Sure.
And that's what makes him the X factor. Like that if they, and I feel like we saw a lot of that tonight. We saw a lot of that, but it's got to come with everybody else, in my opinion, at least.
Well, what I was going to say is
What
it
did you
doesn't
think I was
matter.
gonna say?
I mean, well, okay, here's my thoughts. James Harden could be averaging 60 points, 15 assists, and 10 rebounds, and it doesn't freaking matter because you still think he's going to disappear in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's just gonna
True. That too.
So
100%.
I don't think there's anything he could do. I mean, it's nice to see him, dropping 35 points and looking a little bit more like the James Harden we saw in Houston. Like, I do think that's encouraging and that's cool to see because for a while we were calling him one of the greatest offensive players of all time. And then, they tightened up with the rules a little bit and didn't let him get away with as much. And all of a sudden it's like he's exposed, And so, but I just have to see something in the postseason before I can believe in him. And I predicted last year, he made me look stupid. I was like, I think this is his year, and it wasn't.
Yeah, you did. It was on our show. You said that.
I don't want to be negative. Like I don't. I really want to give the guy a chance, but at a certain point, it's like, why? It's not based in anything that we're actually seeing on the court. The guy just disappears in the postseason.
He's got two extremes. He's either playing hot potato and doesn't want to hold the ball long enough to do anything, or he holds the ball for too long and he's a ball hog.
I think what it is with some of these players, they're so predictable that over a 7-game series they become they're a little too easy to make adjustments on. I feel like that's James Harden. And so let's see. Enjoying your first live stream from Japan, Johnny. That's awesome. I'm planning on going to Japan within the next year or two, actually. So we'll see. Yeah. Me and some other YouTubers, some of them were in the chat, are planning on a meetup. So might be going to your territory sometime. 320. I have no idea how much that is, but thank you so much. You're my first super chat ever on this channel, so thank you so much. That means the world. So
shout out to you.
Yeah. Best possible record for the Lakers, 45-37.
That's about what
I'm
you
going
said. That's a
52
little
and
bit over
30.
than what you said.
I got
52 and 30.
30.
You're so
optimism.
for somebody who said they're kind of a Warriors fan, you're a loyal man, dude. You're a loyal man.
Yo, it's funny because in 30 games, when you see that they're lockdown defenders and they're winning, whatever, okay.
Where the hell is this optimism coming from?
Yeah.
Are you just like the biggest Patrick Beverly simp
No,
ever? Like,
I think the Warriors are going to be a top 10 defense in the league. And I'm sorry, not the Warriors. The Lakers are going to be a top 10 defense.
Okay, I was like, what does that have to do with
Yeah, sorry. And
they got smacked.
It's going to happen. Watch, it's going to figure itself out. Like, how many times do like LeBron teams? I don't want to go back to this, but LeBron teams that you get a bunch of pieces, have to figure it out. It always starts off rough, always, and then it figures itself out. The last 2 years hasn't, and it's because of injury. If there's no injury,
okay. Hold. Yeah, I agree with that. First of all, Arkasul, thank you so much, bro. Arkasul's a friend of mine. He's a homie. He's modding the chat, and he's doing a great job. First live stream hype. Congrats, brother. Thank you, Arkasul. You are awesome, dude. Now, to make my point against Dario, give me a second, because we're going to go look up Anthony Davis here.
Yeah.
All right, because you want to bring up injuries. You want to bring up injuries. All right. Here's what he's played in the last 4 seasons: 56 games. Now, like one of the seasons was really shortened, so I'll give you that. 56 games. 2020, he played 62 games, so that's actually most of the season. So we'll give him credit for that. 36 games in 2021. 36. And
go further back.
And 40 games. Back. Why? The last 4 years. That's what matters.
It's if you go back further in his career, you're gonna find like one season that stands out.
He's never, he played 75. That's the most he's played, 75.
That's it.
But
yeah,
he was 23, 23 and 24 years old. But in the last 4 seasons, he can't stay on the court. And then LeBron is the same thing. I mean, I know for a longest time we were just used to LeBron always being out there, but he had the groin injury in 2019. So, yeah, the last 4 seasons, LeBron, 55 games, 67 games, 45 games, and last year, 56 games.
Yeah.
It's like – and that was their big complaint, which, I'll give them credit. LeBron was saying how many games were the 3 of them on the court together, AD, Russell Westbrook, and LeBron? It wasn't many. But why in the world should we expect them to do it again? They haven't done it for the last 4 years.
Yeah. The last – 3 out of the 4. Let's not say 4 because I think the bubble year they've taken away some games there. Like they played, LeBron and AD didn't really have injury throughout that year. That 2020
and let me pause you real quick, Dario. Remember that thought real quick because I just want to acknowledge late art. Okay. Wait, you can get supers now? Sweet, congrats! 499 of something. Thank you. You are awesome, Late Art's one of my biggest supporters on my Twitch channel. That's Johnny64 with 3 N's. I play like Metroid and Zelda games, obviously. But yeah, Late Art, shout out to you. Thank you so much. You're always being supportive of me. You're awesome. So anyway, continue your thought.
What I'm saying is I can't control the past. If they got injured, they got injured, whatever. I'm saying if they play and which I think that they're going to do because I think the season matters a lot for LeBron. So I think he's going to try to be as on point as possible. You can't really control injury. AD apparently has something to prove, even though he got injured like his first preseason game. And he said that he was going to try to play all 82 games. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to play 65, and I think they're going to get through the regular season, be a top elite defensive team, be a top. I think 4, but let's say top 5 seed in the West, and they're gonna make a run.
I'm keeping this
round out.
I'm keeping this stream on the channel. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
We will have the receipts, Dario. We will have them.
Fine. I just want I feel a lot of bashing here, and I just want the praise when it happens. Because I'm gonna remember, Russell. I keep receipts. So when this happens, I'm gonna be like, oh no, y'all didn't think this 4 months ago when this was happening.
Is there anything low key about Russell? Like at this point, I think that his wife probably thinks that he attacks the basket too recklessly. I don't think he has anybody in his corner anymore. So yeah, I don't think there's anything low key about it. But yeah, I like Russell, but yeah, it's just, I mean, Charles Barkley said it. What was it? Halftime? Like, yeah. Poor
That's
dude
what
needs
I
to be
was saying.
traded.
He doesn't have the passion. That's what he was saying. But I don't know.
I don't see that. I don't see. I don't see it. Like, he
um,
still looks as intense as hell as out there. And the dude, I'm into my early 30s. I know what it's like to start to get into your early 30s. He doesn't have the passion. He doesn't have the energy like he used to. Well, no crap, Sherlock. Like, he's aging. So
the man is old. But I have two thoughts on the Celtics 76ers game that if I don't say them now, I'm going to forget. Number one, I think Tyrese Maxey could be huge for them. Like, he was awesome last year. He's going to take hopefully he takes the next step up and he becomes like a real serious piece for them. And I think as a scorer, he's so fast with the basketball. He's so fast. And I think it always stands out when I watch the Sixers. So that's the first point. The second point is, remember when we did Wilt Chamberlain, bring Wilt Chamberlain in 2020, and we were talking about the Celtics, and you guys were on it, and I was like, I just don't think they have a point guard. Like, I just don't think they have a competent guard that can get. Malcolm Brogdon is perfect for them. It's exactly the type of guy that if I was running the Celtics, I would have won after. Because of the way the Celtics jerseys look, he looked like he was in a Bucks jersey again. It was really weird looking.
Yeah, I do not like
the Celtics jerseys look too much like the Bucks jerseys. I hope they never wear this shit again. Like, I did not like it. But Brogdon looked great tonight, and I think that's going to be huge for them going forward. And I think even though they lost their head coach, I think the Celtics have a really good chance to come out of the East once again.
I do too. Oh,
totally possible.
I mean, Jaylen Brown, like, they've combined for 70 points between the two of them. I mean, golly, the Celtics are going to be a problem again. Yeah. It's funny because I'm feeling like it's only been one game, but I have no reason to think it's like Warriors and Celtics are maybe poised for a rematch. So we'll see. Before we get to – go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just going to say I was worried about the Celtics because I thought that coach mattered a lot because I think he changed their mindset, like to be a more defensive team. Like Jason Tatum elevated last year because he played better defense. He pushed him to play more defense. And I was worried that was going to like be an issue this year because he doesn't have that push, but so far so good.
All right. So I want to get to this, engage with the chat a little bit just because they're talking about it. Top 5 guards all time. You guys can spit them out real quick.
Just go quick.
All guards?
Do we do
just
anything?
All guards. Points and shooting guards.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Oh, that's pretty easy. I got MJ, Magic, Kobe, Steph, and who's my last one? MJ, Magic, Kobe, Steph. I know it's like an obvious one there, probably.
That's why quick was not going to be easy for me.
I'm trying to think of my actual top 10, and my top 10, like those are in it. So it's like, all right, those are the top guards. I'll probably go. I might go Isaiah. Let's go Isaiah.
That was my thought.
Either Isaiah or Wade.
Isaiah Thomas.
Wade.
I'm not used to that. Yeah. Magic, Kobe, Jordan, not in any particular order. Magic, Kobe, Jordan, Steph, Jerry West. That's my 5.
Thank you. I see. If you include off the court stuff for Jerry West, it's not even close. But
we're not talking about that.
The finals record makes it tough.
You say this every time Jerry West comes up, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about
Jerry perimeter
player.
Yeah, he was a perimeter shooter in the 60s, shooting 47% from the field. I mean, that's efficient by today's standards, but back then, that was ridiculously efficient. Like, league average was like 40% from the field. Jerry West is scoring about 30 points a game, shooting 47% from the field as a perimeter shooter when he didn't have to shoot from the perimeter. Like, he would have loved a 3-point line. And then everything he averaged in the finals and everything. I get he lost in the finals a lot, but Celtics were pretty stacked. So I don't necessarily hold that completely against him. So
the GOAT.
Yeah.
It's because they had to go. But oh man. Lindsay, you go. I wanna go last.
I had the same exact 5 as Dario with Isaiah on there.
I'm talking about Lynn.
Wow.
Yeah, I like Isaiah. I think that's a good 5 too.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one bad part of going last. Everybody's said all the names.
Yeah.
I don't. If I go unique now, I'm just Andre Iguodalaing myself all over again.
Russell said, for context, when we did a podcast, when we did a video together on this channel, he said that Andre Iguodala should be in the top 75 all time. So now it's like a running gag. He's just Andre Iguodala is always the answer. You're like Max Kellerman, fate of the universe on the line.
Yeah.
You want the last shot going to Iggy.
All Max Kellerman needs is to shave his head and Miracle Grow, and we'll be ready to go. We'll look like brothers. But what do you call it? Yeah, I feel like MJ, Magic Johnson. I like Isaiah. Isaiah is the tough one. Like I feel like he gets forgotten a lot. I'm really looking forward to doing his legacy breakdown when we get to it. Because I don't know a ton about his career, but I feel like he definitely should be on that list. Underrated in terms of like ball handling and stuff like that, and what happened after him. Like he was nasty and clutch. But who'd I say? Magic, Jordan.
Are they trying to trigger us? Like,
like what? Like, I start a war in chat.
All right.
What do you call it?
Just
definitely Kobe for sure. And then, probably Steph. At this point, I feel like Steph's definitely in the guard conversation for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a combo guard. You gotta be.
The 5 is so hard though. I always think about too much stuff.
Well,
to me, that's easy. I mean, that 5 for me, that's solid. I'm not.
I'm a subcategory guy. Like I like doing like it's sometimes it's too general and I overthink.
It's just shooting guard and point guard together in this one.
Yeah.
Like if you have a top 5 point guard, top 5 shooting guard, and then you just like mix it up. I just went based off of my all-time list, and I was like, well, these 4 guards are in the top 10 for me, so I'm having them there.
So automatic.
Yeah, just math. Yeah.
So thank you to everybody's in chat. Let us know if you like this, because if you do, we might make this a more regular thing. I love the idea of after big games, whether it be all-star games, playoff games, just big regular season games, going live with the chat and talking with you guys and giving some post-game reaction. If you guys like this, then I'm open to doing it more. So give me some feedback in the comment section. Let's get into our predictions for this upcoming season. Let's go ahead and start it off with the MVP. Who you think is taking the MVP this year?
I would like to go first.
Go ahead.
I would love to go first because you said something very interesting about Jerry West, about the 48% and the very high, the 48% field goal and the, what'd you say, over how many points per game? 20 what? 27?
What was the question again?
No, Jerry West. What's it? You were saying?
Oh, he averaged about 27 points a game for his career,
okay, so
and he shot about 47% from the field. Yeah.
There was another guy who did that last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally, for the record, throughout history, the guys who've been able to do that, it's Jerry West, Steph during his MVP year, Oscar Robertson, and my MVP, Ja Morant. Ja Morant,
wow,
he is awesome. And the more highlight, he's going to just rack up this massive highlight reel. The Memphis Grizzlies should still be pretty good. They're a really deep team. They were great without him when he was injured. If Ja Morant can have a similar season or better than what he did last year, and the Grizzlies are still in that top 3 mix, they were second last year. And I think that, experience just makes you better. And that kid is awesome. And I think the narrative, like the mainstream media narrative, is going to jump all over that as we get deeper into the year. Because he's electrifying. Like, I don't know. I love Ja Morant. He's my favorite pick for MVP. I've been thinking about that for like a solid month now.
And because of the politics of the MVP award, like I do believe there is MVP fatigue. Yeah. And so like when a guy wins it or he wins it multiple times, they start to kind of stray away from them. So guys like Jokic, Giannis, like they're going to have to stand out to an even greater extent now to get to secure that MVP. So I do feel like it's going to be a new guy. It's probably going to be a first-time winner this year. That's my opinion. But what you think, Dario?
The league's so deep.
Yeah. That's what that was exactly it. So It's funny that you say my guy's name, but I have Giannis winning MVP this year. My reason is similar to Russell's reason, where obviously there's the Ja hype, but it's also it's the supporting cast around them. They don't have that much, and I think if Giannis, most likely the Bucks are going to be a top 3 seed in the East, and the East, like both conferences are getting stronger and stronger every year.
It's a great time,
and it's like this is like perfect basketball. Like I like the parity in the league.
Yeah.
And but if Giannis's team is a top 3 contender, top 3 seed in the East, and he's the main guy, like I think, like I could see the Ja thing, because if he does that in the West, like that's an even stronger conference, so he has more of an argument. But I think the voter fatigue is going to be less of a thing this year, mainly because last year there was so much flack for Joker winning MVP. Like Joker got a lot of shit for MVP because he was 6th seed. They went strictly off stats, and I think you look at a guy like Giannis who did similar to what Joker did, but instead he was like he's 2nd seed in the East, and to me he should have been. It was him or Embiid for me for MVP. So I think he's gonna win it this year.
Well, I think it's it seems to be a more recent trend. Like the MVP voters are seemingly starting to care less about whether or not you're a top seed in the conference. Because like for 30 years, for like 3 decades, you basically had to be a top 2 team in your conference, or you just didn't get MVP consideration. It's why Kobe was putting up 35 points a game, first team all defense, and they never even considered him over Nash. It's like you're a 6, 7 seed, like we're not even considering you.
You know what's stupid now, though? You know what's stupid? To that point, like Jokic, a big reason why he won MVP is because of what he did with less talent. Yeah. And I don't think he's going to be in the conversation this year with a way better team. Like, I hate that. It drives me crazy, especially in this deep era where all of these teams are solid and there are a lot of teams with a lot of good talent on them. Like, I hate the fact that players are getting punished for making their teammates better and having solid talent around them. Like, that's an organizational benefit that you shouldn't be punished for being good as a team. Like, oh, look, this team is a train wreck, but he's averaging a triple-double. Perfect. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me. I hate that.
The Big Kiwi, great channel he's got there. Definitely support his channel so he'll be making more content, because that's how it works with YouTubers. You watch it, we'll make more. And so he's got a great channel there.
Yes.
So he says Luca for $8.99 for New Zealand Buckaroos. I have no idea how much that translates to in cash, but thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah. Luca MVP. Dude, how do you even say this guy's name? This is a problem with not having friends.
Paolo?
I've seen his name a million times. I know he was the first overall pick.
If he's Spanish,
I've seen his game. Okay, but I don't know how to pronounce anybody's name anymore.
Okay.
Rookie of the year and Warriors going back-to-back. Count on it. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to you, Big Kiwi.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate it. Cool. Lindsay.
Yes.
MVP.
Embiid. Easy. I don't have to think about it.
In a way, it's his turn. I mean, it was a 3-horse race last year, right? I mean, it was him, Giannis, or Jokic last year, and he's the last of those 3 guys that hasn't won one yet. So technically, he is the next man up if he can repeat last year.
Yeah, so for the last 2 seasons, he's been like the maid of honor. Like, he's been the second runner-up. I want him to be the bride this season. He needs to get married to the MVP trophy, and then it'll be like a happy little
you got the lady's perspective.
Yeah. There you go.
And beat the maid of honor. That's never an analogy I would have thought of on my own.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I got Jason Tatum. And I've been jumping around a little bit, but, dude, I just feel like he just keeps getting better and better every season. I have all the confidence, like before this season started, that they were going to be a good team, but just watching them play again, they're going to have the wins. They're going to have the high ranking in the conference. And so he's already got that in his favor. And now he's putting up the numbers. He's getting the boards as well.
Yeah.
He's just an emerging star who's playing for a very prestigious franchise. Like, he's got the narrative working in his favor. I got Jason Tatum.
The only thing with Tatum that I think that kind of brings him back a little bit is Jaylen Brown. I think if you look back, like most players don't win MVPs if their teammate is scoring 22 points or more. I think we looked at that stat in the pod, but like most of the time when you have a guy scoring 20 plus, it's very difficult to get MVP because a lot of people are gonna say the reason your team is good is because you have another guy with you versus, obviously like if someone does
and
it.
I want that shit to stop.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I want this garbage to end. You're right, Dario, and I want it to stop.
I don't know if that's quite a thing as much
it.
because there's so many 20 points per game scores in the league now. Like there's usually at least a couple on every team. I mean, because teams are now averaging 112 points a game. Like this is the most like teams have scored since the days Wilt Chamberlain played. So I don't know. I kind of feel like you could still pull it off. I see what you're going for, but it's not like a Kobe Shaq thing. Like I don't see Jaylen Brown like that.
It's also about multiple All-Stars, which again I don't agree with. I think it's stupid. Like I said it 5 seconds ago. I don't think you should get punished for having good players around you when you're obviously the guy. Like yes,
but to play devil's advocate, isn't the award actually titled the most valuable player? Yeah. If you're taken off the roster and your team's still good, how valuable are you? Like to play devil's advocate, what do you have to say to that?
I just don't think. I don't know. You don't have a problem with Jokic getting MVP on an obviously worse team and then going into the playoffs and getting completely destroyed. That doesn't bother you?
There's a lot of ways I wouldn't have a problem with as long as they were freaking consistent about it.
That's what I'm trying. That's why it's hard to answer your question because
best player on the best team. I can kind of go for that as long as you're consistent about it, but they aren't.
Sure.
They picked Russell Westbrook because he averages a triple double. And in 2017, and then the year after that, and the year after that, they don't care about the triple double average anymore.
Yeah. But they also can't give it to Jokic just because he's the only guy with no 20-point scores on his team, like Dario said. Yeah. That's basically how it felt. This guy had amazing stats, historic stats, player efficiency rating, highest ever, right? Yep. Pretty sure that's highest ever player efficiency rating.
That was
not a perfect stat, but yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's sick, but I just don't like when my MVP is on a team that has no chance to win a championship. I don't think that makes sense to me either.
Yeah, but that's I
don't think that's fair.
That's not fair to Jokic. That's not fair to Jokic. He didn't have Jamal Murray go down. And but it's also
not fair to Giannis. It's not fair to Giannis.
Or Joel.
Sure it is. Yeah. This is the same crap. This is the same crap they did to Kobe, where they were just.
I didn't think that was right either.
But they didn't.
But he's not a top team in the conference, and it's like
Johnny.
Dude averaged 35 points a game, first team all defense, led the Lakers to get like 46 wins with starters like Smush Parker, Luke Walton, Chris Mihm, and Kwame Brown, who were rotating at the center position. Yeah. And he had to make Lamar Odom, who when they were actually winning championships was a sixth man. He had to make Lamar Odom his Scottie Pippen. Like most of the guys who were starting on that team wouldn't even make a roster spot on other teams. And Kobe got him to the playoffs in the seventh seed. They barely lost in 7 games to the Suns. Like they had no business being that good. And you're going to hold it against Kobe and say, oh, they're not a top 3 team in the Western Conference, so he doesn't even get consideration. That is not fair. To me, that's not fair.
Consideration is totally fine.
But the whole thing is they had consistency with Kobe. Like with not giving Kobe that trophy, that was consistent based off the past 30 years before that.
This is true.
Like
he's right.
So there's only been
but
three
more
times,
recent it hasn't been.
Yeah, there's only been 3 times in NBA history. Yeah, there's only been 3 times in NBA history that players have won. Well, at least since like the 70s, that players have won MVPs and had 6 seed or lower, and that was Russell Westbrook, Jokic, and Kareem. And Westbrook, we understood it was the triple double, haven't happened in 40 years, whatever. Joker makes no sense. He didn't do anything. He didn't do something to me that was insane because Giannis did the same exact shit, just a little less efficient, and they didn't give him MVP when he was. I went crazy about this months ago, and I'm gonna go crazy about it again because it's.
You gotta watch my video on Jokic. Like I don't think that statistically and efficiency wise, like.
It was historic. Giannis was like number 3 efficient.
It was. Like you said it yourself, it's not a perfect stat. You said it yourself.
No, I'm not just talking about player efficiency rating. I'm talking about the fact that he was shooting like 60% from the field and like 40% from 3, damn near close to those. as a big man. And he's also
Yes.
facilitating and averaging the most assists per game as a big man since the days Wilt Chamberlain played. Like,
Yeah.
I think at this point, it's no question he's the greatest passing big man of all time.
No
And
argument.
so, like, he was having impact in so many ways on the court.
Yeah.
And if Jokic is not on that team, they're lottery. They're
Is that strictly off just because he's a power forward that we're saying that, like, position
Center.
or center? Well, yeah, whatever. Because like Larry Bird was an inch shorter than him and did the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a hard time looking at Larry. I mean, yeah, I have a hard time looking at Larry as like a big man, but he did play power forward for the first few years.
If
in
he
his career.
played
So
today,
He played like a
absolutely
forward.
be
He
big
played
man.
like a big man. He was down low. Yeah.
I don't label Bird that, but if somebody wanted to, I wouldn't dismiss it. I'd be like, okay.
I think if he played right now, he would not be a small forward. I think he'd be a power forward. There's no way. Just the position is so much more athletic. Like, at least with power forward, you're getting a little bit more leeway. It's still super athletic, but like you're getting a little bit more leeway. And Larry's post-up game was sick, and he could stretch you out, and passing, like Darius said, next level. Like, I think power forward is like the money position. Clearly, we haven't talked about this ever before. Never. Never discussed.
Chat's having fun. Let's see here. Kobe in top 5 being laughed at. Wilt Chamberlain GOAT being laughed at. Duncan in top 5 is getting some heat. I mean, now we're getting into the all-time
Dario,
rankings.
head and shoulders right there. I think Wilt is head and shoulders, bro.
Head and
Are you just trying to trigger Dario now?
Yeah.
Trying to get his 60s thing
Yeah, but
going?
I don't know if Aaron's been trying to trigger me this whole time. Like, I'm like, cool, Aaron. We cool. It's all right.
What do we got for other stuff? What do we got for other awards?
Defensive Player of the Year. Who y'all got?
All right, so can I go first with this one?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely.
Go
Go
for
for
it.
it.
Started. So I actually have Anthony Davis as the.
I'm shocked by this announcement.
Wow.
My reason is
Does the
because
winning thing apply to Defensive Player of the Year? Because I don't know
100%.
about
I think
that,
if
bro.
they're a top 4 seed in the league, it's because of Anthony Davis. So
I
one
love
thing that
commitment to the purple and gold, man.
No,
Fact. Me too.
I'm committing.
Makes me feel good as one of your closer friends. I feel like you have no chance to ever stab me in the back. Like, feels good. Your loyalty is next level.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Your loyalty is next level, bro.
Let's listen to my logic though. All right.
All right.
So when they've played full seasons, right? Or LeBron and AD, they've had top defense in the league. One thing that I know about defense over offense is defense is usually way more consistent, and that's because it's all about effort. So if there's and as you saw, the defense was there all the way through. Sure, they slipped up in the third quarter. That's what kind of through. But if that defense
AD didn't slip up though.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what, and I think he's gonna be their anchor on defense. And because I think they're gonna have a top 5 defense in the league, and he's gonna be their main anchor. I think that's what's gonna give him the most consideration. And typically, Defensive Player of the Year doesn't have too much to do with just winning. It's part of it. So I really do think I'm not joking. I think the Lakers are gonna have a top 5 to top 10 defense in the league. I think AD.
If the Lakers aren't winning, being as high profile as they are, they're not going to get any awards. I feel like the Lakers being who they are with as many high profile names, they have to be winning if they're going to get any, benefit from the voters.
Yeah.
So not only do they have to be winning, okay, I think the less likely thing is that he plays more than 60 games.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
if he doesn't play more than 60 games,
don't...
forget it. He's not winning Defensive Player of the Year. So there's
have to play
very big what ifs.
Him,
just for him to be eligible, there's 2 really big what ifs there.
Yeah.
So,
but he almost died twice tonight.
Would you?
He looked like the Defensive Player of the Year tonight.
Yeah.
Like he was everywhere. Like
would you not say in 2020? And in 2020, AD had something to prove. A lot of people questioned his health going into 2020. That was the thing.
His ankles don't give a damn if he's got something to prove.
He had injuries throughout in the playoffs. He had injuries and he was fighting through them. That was like a thing that was talked about throughout NBA finals, stuff like that. Like he was about to miss games and he didn't. He fought through it. Like that was something he wanted to prove. And I think it's happening again. And I think he's gonna try to do it. I'm not really a Laker fan. Like Russ, for sure. Like I'm not a Laker fan like that, where I'm like just rooting for them because I'm rooting for them. It's because I really think this. Like I think they're gonna be a top 4 seed.
No,
AD's the anchor.
No, we know
I
you really
believe
believe
that you
it. We
believe
just
it.
think
Yeah.
you're delusional.
Yeah, I believe your conviction. You are absolutely solid in your convictions. There's no doubt there.
Appreciate that.
You are not full of it.
Yeah, I try.
Positive. But Lynn,
Russell.
you go. Or you want me to go? Lindsay, you go.
I had Giannis as my defensive player of the
Yeah,
year.
there you go. I wanted you to say it so I could say someone else.
Yeah.
I wanted to go with someone else, but I think I like that pick too. I feel like
I
that
think
totally happened.
the voter fatigue of him getting MVP might be there, but I could see people giving him a defensive player of the year, especially if they play well.
Yeah, they're going to win, and he'll be
Mhm.
healthy. Can't say that about AD.
Okay.
I believe in them.
My poor Lakers. I love my Lakers, but I'm a realist, okay?
I don't particularly like this player, but when we're just talking about defense and defensive player of the year, there is absolutely a narrative for Rudy Gobert to get another defensive player of the year in Minnesota.
Jeez.
There is. It's there. It's totally there. Because that team has been atrocious defensively for years. So if he comes right in and stands right next to Kitty Cat and patrols the paint so he doesn't have to be scared of bigger men inside, that is the wave. And I think Rudy Gobert will have a nice narrative to get the award for sure. He's always in the mix. I feel like he's been top 5 for defensive player of the year every year for at least the last 5 years.
How many DPOYs does he have now?
A couple,
a
few.
Yeah, I forget how many, but yeah, because I mean, if he wins like 1 or 2 more, he's right up there with the most of all time. Because the most of all time, I believe, is 4. By Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace.
Yeah, Ben Wallace.
Yeah, he's got 3.
Is Dwight tied with him, or does he only have
Dwight
3?
won 3 straight? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I always thought he won 4 too, but
I think he got injured during one of the years. And
you're right.
He was like on route to doing it.
I will admit, my pick is kind of a dark horse pick, and if you look at the history of the DPOY award, it almost always leans towards a rim protector, a big man.
Yeah.
So if you're going to pick a perimeter defender or just like a wing type guy, the odds are going to be harder. But my dark horse pick, I'm going with Draymond Green. I think
that's a dark horse pick.
I don't know compared to Rudy Gobert. I mean, but you're right. It's not
I feel like it's the same category. What we're saying here.
Okay, all right. Well, he's not a rim protector, but I got Draymond because he doesn't have to have an impact like offensively, obviously, because Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and he's getting the triple single thing. He's getting it from his teammates.
Facts.
He's probably never been thought of as he's seen as the least valuable he's ever been in Golden State.
Sure.
And so I think that this year especially, he has to play with the chip on his shoulder, and he has to bring the energy on defense, and that's really the only way they need him to contribute. I mean, he can help facilitate a little bit, but defensively is where he really needs to stand out this year. And so I think he'll be playing with the chip on his shoulder. He did a great job in the second half against AD. So yeah, I like Draymond.
I think that's completely possible. Anytime he's been healthy.
The only thing with that is I think Draymond might not be the best defender in his team anymore. I think Wiggins might actually be that guy.
He looked great in the finals. Yeah. That's for damn sure.
He was their lockdown defender all through the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it goes off of Draymond. Obviously, mentorship, IQ, everything like that. But I think in terms of physicality and actually being able to do things defensively, Draymond's there obviously, but I think
he shut down Jokic in round 1.
That extra energy and if they want to lock down a defender, they're putting Wiggins on.
Toothpick.
I saw that earlier. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts, Lindsay.
Who is Johnny Green? Did somebody say Johnny Green? I don't know. The Warriors are just collecting greens at this point.
Dude, speaking of green, did you see Draymond Green's suit? Twitter has been going off because they made it green screen because
what he
so
said,
green.
as he's walking into the tunnel, or he's arriving at the Warriors building, he says something like he's adjusting his suit, and he said, "Straight money, baby." And so people edited his suit to just be like Jordan Poole's face. Jordan Poole's 140 million. Speaking of which, we want to talk about the big bucks. We got to get to what Russell wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Is Charles Barkley overpaid?
Yeah. So wait. So time out. Let's put some context.
10 years, $200 million to sit there and talk about basketball and Krispy Kremes.
Let's talk about let's get some context involved with this. So Charles Barkley has been going on a tour for probably a year and a half. I mean, he always does media stuff during the NBA season to promote Inside the NBA. Like, he'll do random shows. He does talk shows, like late night shows. He did Pat McAfee. And everybody asks him, how much longer are you going to do this? And he says, at 60, I'm done. 60, it's over. I'm done. I don't want to be old being on TV. I want to enjoy the twilight of my life.
Yep.
He did at least at one time in an interview, he alluded to something about like cancel culture and stuff, because I know they've gone for him.
No, you're definitely right.
And
definitely
that big San Antonio women segment that he has, and he keeps bringing up, they go after him every time he brings it up again.
That's hilarious.
But $200 million, that'll make people change their mind.
In hindsight, knowing what we know now, what an amazing businessman. What is the best way to get a raise from your employers when you're the man at your job?
Yep.
Just tell them you're done. Tell them that, whatever. I want to retire. I feel good. So Charles Barkley's telling Dan Patrick, they came to me and they were like, we need a favor. He's like, what's the favor? We need you for a little bit more. We got to get this deal signed with the NBA. We cannot not have Charles Barkley when we're trying to re-sign the league. They're going to be like, no, Charles, I'm out. Let me go back to screw TNT. NBC sounds great. CBS, like getting on, one of the single-digit channels.
Amazon ruining Lord of the Rings wasn't enough. They got to ruin my basketball now too. I hate my life. I hate my life.
But what an amazing bargaining play. Charles Barkley, businessman of the year. Genius. Genius. He even said, he said to Dan Patrick today, he was like, I seriously doubt I'll stay all 10 years.
Was that like a joke to him? Like he's going to retire, or they're going to can him, or what? Do we have any way?
He's definitely retiring at like years. As soon as they sign that deal, that's his last year.
I just want to know the details of that contract, because I would want as much guaranteed money as possible.
Oh, I'm sure he got plenty, especially to do it. He said, he was like, it's life-changing money for me. Even though I have millions of dollars, it's even more life-changing. Like,
that's generational wealth right there.
Yeah, that's what he was thinking about. I know he said that. But sick. I love Charles Barkley. I might be in the smaller crowd that thinks that, but I'm an entertainment guy.
Oh no,
there's some people that hate his basketball opinions. There are people that just can't stand his basketball opinions. I'm here to tell you, I could care less if he never talks about one basketball-related thing on Inside the NBA. It means nothing to me. Yeah. It's not what I'm in it for.
All of their best pieces, they're usually not talking about basketball. It's something stupid.
I'm there to see him get scared over a fake fish and do double wolfing churros and talking about getting like water dumped, like getting in a water pistol fight with Shaq. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Give me as much of that as you can, brother. Like, I'm with that. So more years, the better. Sick. Yeah. I don't know. I was very happy about it.
Yeah, I definitely.
I'm happy. Inside the NBA is one of the best things on TV. It's
facts.
Like one of the main reasons you go to watch is because of Charles. Like, facts. 100%. Like whether he says something stupid or he's doing something stupid, him and Shaq fighting.
I love our chat, man. Like, we're talking about Charles Barkley and whether he's paid too much, and people are still arguing about their top lists and talking about Russell and how much bounce he's got and comparing 60s players and modern players. I freaking love it. What was this one too? So Kawhi Leonard won't be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, even though he only plays 60 games a year. Well, yeah, but there's also this narrative that he's kind of dropped off defensively lately.
Oh,
like
Dario can tell you all about that.
Yeah,
Dario can tell you all about
when he
that.
left San Antonio and then started becoming like just so much more offensively minded, it seems like he kind of just took a step back.
I think his last great defensive year was that 2019 playoff, that 2019 run with that Toronto, that first 1 year with Toronto, and then after that, I think he dropped off.
I thought he was awesome against the Mavericks. Maybe not purely defensively, but that bubble year, I was so entertained by him. So entertained. Like, I thought, and he was looking like, I called him this, the third coming of Michael Jordan to Kobe Bryant to Kawhi. The game looked exactly the same. Like, and then he gets hurt again, and then as we know about Kawhi, when he gets hurt, he doesn't come back until he's 100%. Now, usually, when you hear stuff like that, the first guy I think of is Derrick Rose, who wouldn't come back until he was 100%, and then he came back and it didn't happen. But
Derrick Rose had to be 150%. Okay, doctor was like, "You're 100%," and he's like, "It's not enough 100%."
I'm good. Similar thing with Kawhi with the Spurs. That's why he got a bunch of crap from his teammates. That's why he really wanted to get out, because Tony Parker was like, "My injury's 1,000 times worse than yours, bro. What are you doing?" Yeah. That's a quote. Like,
he had a quad explosion or something. Like, his injury was literally 1,000 times worse than his. Just like,
but no, we've seen Kawhi manage injuries and have success in the playoffs. But in terms of regular season, it's just hard to predict him for any awards, especially because if there's any player I would think that cares less about awards, I think it's Kawhi Leonard. Yeah. I feel like that guy just doesn't. He comes in, he punches his clock. He plays basketball. He dips out. Like, that's
so. On that note, are the Clippers for real this year? You're gonna have Paul George. You're gonna have Kawhi Leonard, and now they've added John Wall, which God, who knows what to make of that? He's missed so much action. But
another guy.
What do you guys think?
Well, they're all always injured, so how can you put a bet on them when literally their three core pieces could be injured at any given moment? And all.
Well, Dario doesn't care if guys have been injured all the time. He thinks they'll win the championship.
That's why I have the Clippers as a top 4 seed in that's one of mine. I believe in the teams that weren't there last year, and I think a lot of the teams that were there are going to drop off.
I want to play in a fantasy league with Dario. He's going to take all pick all the injury prone guys and be regretting all of his decisions halfway through the season.
We should definitely do a fantasy league. That'll be fun.
I'm with it.
I'm down.
I'll be all the injury dudes. I'll be down with it. I believe in them. And then they're going to just show up.
Team ambulance. That's Dario.
Team ambulance. Yes, seriously.
Great channel. Will Chamberlain archive.
Fantastic channel. Super underrated too. Like, I always think they should have more subscribers than they do. Will Chamberlain archive. If you want to know anything about 70s or earlier, but especially 60s basketball, there's no other place to go. We didn't get any money from them, but
there's a few good channels. There's another one that's I think it's that 70s guy. That's another one with hardly any subs, but should have way more. I've taken a lot of footage from those guys, so shout out to them.
Facts.
Appreciate what they do. So
you borrowed. Don't say you didn't take it. You borrowed.
They can take stuff from me, bro. That's YouTube. That's just how that works. None of us owns it. It's NBA footage. So
it's not my footage. It's the footage.
That to each other. Just crop it in a little bit so you just cut out my watermark. That's how YouTube works, man. None of us own it. So anyway, well. I think we should probably wrap it up here. We've gone longer than I said we were going to go, almost 2 hours stream. But
this is the usual for.
Right.
I expect nothing less. Typically.
Did we want to do chips and rookie of the year or
this guy?
Just
speed round. I don't know.
Speed round.
He's like, I don't give a crap about sleep. Whatever. I gotta wake up in 5 hours. I'm good.
Speed round. Go.
I got you. Who's your rookie of the year? I got late 2000 vibes. I'm thinking Steph's gonna do the Kobe, late year, just bang bang, get the 2 chips, dip out.
Oh, so we're on championships. Okay.
Yeah, championships. So I got Warriors winning the championship, and then rookie of the year I got Paolo Banchero, and that's all. And that was the guy that he meant. Yes. The one dude mentioned before. And the only reason I have him is because he's on the Magic. I don't know anything about college players. I know he had the highest odds to win rookie of the year, and he's on the Magic, so he's gonna be scoring a bunch of points and doing shit. So I'm assuming it's gonna be him.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll go. So for rookie of the year, I have Benedict Mathurin. I also don't know anything about college basketball. I'm not even positive I said his name right. Don't think I did. But I will tell you this.
Well, there goes you looking like a genius if you got it right. Just act like you know what you're talking about.
No. That never goes well. I did the same thing with Iguodala. Look how well that turned out. Can't do that. But I love his attitude. He said LeBron's not better than him. I love it. That's
right. That's right. Oh, I forgot about that.
He's on the Pacers, I'm pretty sure. I think
he's gonna be complete trash. Like
he's 6'6".
Guys that do
Dario,
stuff like
you know
that
what?
always just come out.
This is all I gotta say for Dario. Dario, he's 6'6", 210 pounds.
I think it was OJ.
I don't care, man. Like unless you look like Kobe, sound like Kobe. No, we're not.
It reminded me.
Sounds like him so far.
Yeah.
I'm getting OJ Mayo vibes.
He just got out of his diaper.
Wasn't it OJ Mayo who said he was better than Michael Jordan?
That too, and then Michael Jordan smoked him.
I remember arguing with multiple people in a park that Kobe would smoke OJ Mayo. I couldn't believe it was even a conversation. Like they were saying OJ Mayo would cook Kobe, and I'm like, what is happening here? Like, do you guys actually watch? Like, all right, but sorry.
So my championship picks for my heart, I want the Memphis Grizzlies to win. I really do. I'm big on the Grizzlies. I love Ja. He's my favorite player right now.
Like,
but
well, and I thought Dario thinking the Lakers could stay healthy was going to be the most hottest, ridiculous.
No,
take
I
of
love
the
the Grizzlies. I love it. See me at the end of the year when they're looking fire. I bet you they're going to be the new hotness.
All right.
for going forward.
You'll be the 8th seed. I guarantee.
I also want Giannis to get a championship. So West Grizzlies, East Bucks.
Yep. Lindsay.
I got more nervous about my pick as I watched the game. So
it's one game. It's one game. So don't
No,
worry.
I know. But I have the Sixers, but I also don't like Tobias Harris, so I kind of want him gone. But I like the Sixers.
Wow, okay.
I'd like him fired.
You can't go. You can't do that, Lindsay. You can't go Joel Embiid MVP and Sixers win the championship.
I just
you can. What?
No, you can't. Like that's like
I did Grizzlies and
Ja. Make the rules.
What?
Yeah, you guys
You're
are
talking about AD being defensive player in the year. I don't want to hear anything from you.
I'm gonna sound like a genius. Like,
listen, you can't predict the Lakers to win 52 games after they were the most disappointing team of all time. That's what you can't do.
Yeah, I got that. Right. Johnny, if they had like 40 in January, I'm texting you. And I'm giving you all this crap. I'm gonna bring back these videos.
I'll put $20 down. I will give you $20 if they hit 50 wins.
You want to bet 20?
I'll give you $20. If they get 50 wins, you get $20. If they get less than 20,
I'll give you 20.
If they get less than 20, you can give me $1. That's how confident I am. I just $1 and I'll put 20 down for you. So
watch future Dario be like, what the hell was wrong with this dude? Like, why did he bet this? As I'm pulling out my dollar from my wallet.
That is hilarious.
So my rookie of the year pick is Jabari Smith Jr. on the Rockets.
All right. There's gonna be plenty of opportunities on the Rockets.
Yeah, that's my thinking too. The Rockets kind of suck, so there you go.
Clearly, the three of us care so much about college basketball and rookies. Obviously.
Yeah, well, I feel pretty good about my pick. I'm going with Keegan Murray from Sacramento.
Okay, I know
6'8" wing. He's not like explosive. He's not particularly athletic or fast, but the dude can shoot. He could shoot. He's very methodical. Obviously, he's going to have tons of opportunity in Sacramento, and I think with De'Aaron Fox, driving and kicking out to him, I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities from the perimeter. He's been playing well. He was just the summer league MVP as well. So I like him. I think he's good. He's not like the most athletically gifted guy, but he's got good fundamentals and he can shoot the ball. I think he's going to be really good out in Sacramento.
He was my second guy for that because he was the second highest odds. So yeah.
And I think it's Warriors again. If you're not going with Warriors, I feel like you're just trying to be interesting right now. Yeah. Like, to me, there's no reason to think with their chemistry.
I'm trying to be interesting.
Yeah, I think everybody. I think you just want to be interesting. Like
I'm definitely
Warriors,
trying to be interesting, and I'm okay with it.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Grizzlies could actually make noise. So I'm not saying my picks like totally just because I don't want to say the Warriors, but like I get what you mean. I just feel like it just like last year. The league is so wide open. I really believe that. I really don't think any team is head and shoulders above, some of the other teams in contention until further notice. Like maybe we get to Christmas and the Warriors just slap everybody up. Maybe I'm totally off, but I don't think so. Bill Russell is better. You're right, brother. 100%.
Then the Mamba.
Goated.
Then the Mamba.
Yeah.
Okay.
At what?
All right.
Fight me.
At what?
Basketball.
Life.
What else are you
Life,
talking about?
Dario.
Yeah, we're not
Life.
talking about. There's
That's
no
such
way-
a weird comparison, Bill Russell and Kobe.
There's no,
Way
that's
better
that's
at
not
life.
even-
I'm
that's
with
not even-
that.
Like we're not talking about real basketball. Maybe
Dario.
whatever he played.
I gotta
have
wrap
this
this up before
conversation
Dario
again. Yeah.
pisses
Like,
me
we can't.
off again. Like, listen, I want to stick with my man Kobe, but if you start hating on the '60s,
All I'm saying,
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta
saying
get it
is
off before I
Kobe
say
would
something
eat
that I'm
Bill
gonna
Russell.
regret.
Like I don't understand how. I think it shouldn't be a discussion because it just doesn't make sense. They're like completely different positions, completely different eras. But then when you're actually like talking, like what are we talking about? Like skill, like what? Like what are we actually talking about with basketball? Like I don't know.
But this is to your point. This is why I always, whenever we do top 10s and top 5s and stuff, this is why I'm so subcategory driven. Like what exactly we're talking about is so important to me. Like impact on the game, skill, hardware. Like it's so subjective.
One
And-
video I'm planning on doing that I think is going to be fun is I did my 50 greatest players and that pissed off so many people. It was hilarious. There is no 50 there. By the way, there is no 50 greatest players video on YouTube where the comment section is all like, I like your list, bro. It's like there's always
You're a
a war.
freaking G. Love you. Nice job.
It's always a war in the comment section because everybody's got different lists.
Yeah.
But I want to do probably 25. I might do 50 again, but I'm thinking 25 greatest players of all times at their peak.
Love it.
You're only
At their
factoring in
apex.
peak because now the conversation gets interesting. I'm like, forget longevity, forget any of that stuff.
Yeah.
When you're talking about their best 3-year stretch,
Yeah.
how did they rank? Because everything changes at that point. And that's not a conversation that usually happens. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who you have after Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
it'll be
those 3 years. That's just,
After MJ is going to be,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting.
that 91 to 93. That was just too much.
91 to 93 is pretty intense. Yeah.
It's insane.
But Shaq, dude, Shaq from 2000
We
to
just did that too.
2002.
But think about it. Michael Jordan is up on him by MVP.
This is a top 5 argument I can have. I like the Apex argument a lot.
I'm not gonna lie, the finals performances though are so close, but I still got MJ a little over shit. I don't know though, because it's close as shit. It might because
We talked about it on our
MJ with the
podcast.
42, 8 and 8. Oh yeah. I don't know.
We had this exact conversation.
Yeah,
on
see,
our
Will
podcast.
Chamberlain's nuts too.
There you go.
'Cause You're gonna give him
That's another good one.
You're gonna give him 61, 62, and 63, probably. Maybe 62 to 64. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at it. But LeBron 12 to 14.
This is
Yeah.
great. Like
And I'm thinking Kobe 06 to 08. That's pretty
Yeah,
pretty intense too.
yeah.
So-
Even there's a bunch of underrated. If you probably really dove into that, I'm sure you'd find ones where you're like, whoa, this is way better than I thought. I'm sure. But it's interesting. I think MJ would be in there for me. Shaq, LeBron's 12 to 14 was crazy. Just that he only had to think about basketball for that period of time. And then Magic Johnson in the late 80s after the tragic stuff, that run, unbelievable.
Dude, Bird from
Bird's
86,
MVP run?
86 to 88.
The
He's
3
got
MVPs.
I think those are the years, but he's got 3 MVPs.
Yeah.
It's 84,
And
85, 86. For
Yeah.
me.
Oh, okay. And then there's but a little bit later in the 80s, there's 3
Sure.
straight seasons where if you put them together, actually there's 5 seasons where if you put them together, he's got 50, 40, 90 percentages over a 5-season stretch.
Yeah.
Bird was nuts in his prime, dude.
What
Just
about
wish he took more threes? I wish he
Giannis
took
the
more
last
threes.
3 seasons?
It's another good one.
Yeah.
Joker,
He has
there are
what,
people-
2 MVPs in that? 'Cause
Yeah.
he went back to back 2 MVPs, a defensive player of the year,
A championship.
Championship like that.
I love how Scalabrine.
Scalabrine
only
back.
needs one season. He's
Yeah.
like, you don't even need like 07 and 09. No.
Yeah,
Just
screw it.
08 Scalabrine. That's
Go.
all you need.
I want to do his
Made the
legacy
Hall of
with
Fame off
Brian
one season. What are
Scalabrine.
we talking about?
I want to pay Brian Scalabrine to come on our podcast and do a legacy breakdown where we go through his whole career with him, with him on the show.
In
That'd be
15
so
minutes.
entertaining.
Yeah,
That guy is really entertaining. He's great on like
because we do
media
like
stuff.
we
He's
do
great.
like reading the newspaper clips and stuff, and going
Yeah.
through Brian Scalabrine's career
Oh.
would be so quick because there's nothing
Oh
on
my
it.
It would be that, and then just like hours of me trying to scour the web for the smallest clips of research. Like,
No, dude,
Scalabrine-
there is, bro.
Fine-tooth
There
comb.
is legitimate highlight combinations with like epic like God of War music put to it of like Scalabrine just kicking ass, dude.
that's fire.
It is amazing. And I thought I had my GOAT series. I had parts 1 through 9. I'm thinking like, spoiler alert, a little bit for my channel, but maybe just like on April Fools or something. I might do like a 10-minute video trying to just like do whatever I can to just manipulate the stats to
Yes.
make a Brian Scalabrine GOAT video.
I love it.
Just go full length and just
That would
really
be
like go
hilarious.
in on it. Just be
Yeah.
like, well, during this stretch when he didn't have, when he was unhindered with playing time, he averaged this. If he was always coached this way and you prorated over the course of his career, crap like that. That'd
Think
be
about how
awesome.
much of a god he would be.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
amazing.
Yeah.
all right.
Love it.
Well, Lindsay's tired. Okay, she just
Can you
Oh,
tell?
yeah.
she just yawned. No, you look great, but she just yawned on stream. I didn't just call a woman tired. No, I didn't. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel
No,
me.
it's good. I'm exhausted. I've been up since 7
but we're like
a.m.
yawning. We're getting tired. This has been a great stream.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. Everybody in chat. Thank you guys for hanging out. That'll be good, Johnny. LOL, White Mamba. Yeah.
White Mamba.
Yeah. So again, let me know in the comments, guys, even after this stream's done, if you just want to leave it in the comments to stay up there. Did you like this? If so, I'm open to doing more of it in the future. We could also bring other people on here, but these guys will definitely be back. So
Yeah, dude. Thanks.
check out their channel, Apex Greatness Podcast. They talk about all eras of basketball.
Yeah,
And so-
dude, we're getting back into current stuff. We weren't doing so much of that last year, but we're getting more into current stuff this year. We're finishing up Shaq's career. We almost got his whole career up on the channel,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna get into the hypotheticals, bringing Shaq in the time machine, going to the '80s, bringing them to today.
And you
He's
guys
been-
have such a deep library of so many
Yeah.
different fun conversations. So
Yeah.
it's a fun new channel to discover because you can go way back and like check out all kinds of different discussions that they have. This fun time. I still want us to do that NBA 2K GOAT team stream.
Oh yeah,
We got to
Yeah.
do that. Where
I've
we
been
get
thinking
like the
about that.
teams from my GOAT team series, let
Yeah.
them all, put them in a playoff bracket, let them battle it out, see who wins. The 96 Bulls will probably get like eliminated in the first round and we'll be freaking out. 'Cause, that's how 2K works. So, but I think
dude.
that
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I definitely want to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need
Yeah,
to do
for
that.
sure.
Yeah. we
That's
gotta
just
do it.
gonna be fun talk, anyways. Just naturally. So
Yeah, dude, this was great. Thanks for having us on.
yeah,
man.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Fun,
Thank
really
you guys in the chat. And yeah, I will see you guys again soon. Next video on this channel is going to be about the 2008 Boston Celtics, which there's a whole conversation there because, yeah, some people think they're underrated. Some people think they're overrated. You're going to hear my perspective on it.
I
So
love it.
that should
I
be
love
fun.
it.
All right. Thanks, chat, for hanging out. I will see you guys again soon. Later, y'all.
See you.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.